Today, let's talk about AI and how it can drive Bitcoin to as high as $760,000. But what about Bitcoin, AI? What does that have to do with anything? Arthur Hayes, the co-founder of BitMEX. A lot of people follow Arthur Hayes for his opinions, but he's putting two and two together. He makes the argument that AI, because of the exponential growth, what better currency to pair it up with? Of course, a digital asset like Bitcoin. The future is not going to be settled in cash, okay? Not going to be utilizing fiat. It's still too analog. You got to go with something digital, purely decentralized, something that can complement AI. And he's making this argument that, hey, you have the rising trend growth of AI, which is exponential, and we'll show you how exponential it is. And you pair that with Bitcoin, of course, it's going to lift Bitcoin up as well. So according to him, there's like kind of three multiples, okay, for where Bitcoin can go. You have an 8x multiple, which is considered low, 23x, which is considered medium, and 172, which is considered mania. And this is derived from previous Bitcoin cycles, coming off from bottom all the way to top. Okay, so he's using these three multiples, 8, 23, and 172. And he's arguing, depending on how hot AI gets, that's how hot Bitcoin is going to get, how much FOMO will be driven in. So if you look at this, you look at the 8x, 23x, and 172x multiplier, okay, and you look at and you just, extrapolate the price, well, Bitcoin could be $760,000. Now, why is this a possibility? Well, look at this. I want to show you this. Look at ChatGPT, okay? And look at all the previous tech companies, the major ones that you guys have heard of and may still be using. I think the only one out of this list is Foursquare, which pretty much died off. But look at Netflix, Kickstarter, Airbnb, Twitter, Foursquare, Facebook, Dropbox, Spotify, Instagram. How long it took for them to reach 1 million users. Instagram was pretty quick, right? But look at how quick it has been for ChatGPT. It's crazy. And according to Arthur, I think in this article, ChatGPT already reached one of these articles. No, it's this one. ChatGPT already reached 100 million users. So not only did it hit 1 million basically instantly, it's already up to 100 million users. That is the demand for AI. How quick AI is moving. And imagine once everyone in every industry starts using AI, how much more productivity will be unlocked through AI. Okay, hopefully doesn't lead to Skynet and doesn't lead to Terminators that will be destroying the world. But if we use it right and control it, the productivity of everything that we know today will be multiplied by 1,000,000x. Lightning Labs unveils new tools to ease Bitcoin transactions for AI. See, it's starting to happen already. What natural, what better currency than Bitcoin, right? So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Can't wait to see when it happens. But man, AI is just exploding like crazy. Well, ARK Invest, they do a lot of research into Bitcoin. They're very bullish on Bitcoin. They know that Bitcoin hit a 1-year high, right? But they also notice that the long-term holders keep on increasing, okay? And this is a phenomenon because I can't really zoom in on this, but if you look at the green line, you could see, right? You could see how it drops every time there's a peak. And why does long-term holder percentage drop? Is because new retail investors FOMO in. That's why. It's not like long-term holders actually leave. It's just because new people come in, right? But look at it, how every time it forms that low point, gets a little bit higher, and then Bitcoin slowly trends up. And even with the price being where it is, which is much, much, much higher than previous lows, Bitcoin's long-term holder supply is up to 70% and keeps on climbing. Imagine after the next halving, okay, and the next cycle, and we actually recover from bottom, which could be like 50 or 60K. That could be the next bottom, whatever it may be. By then, long-term holder supply could be up to 80%. And then the cycle after that be 90%. What does this prove? More and more people are coming into the space and staying. They're not leaving nearly as much as before. They keep on staying, which is why more and more Bitcoin is being hodled and less of it exists. It can't be any simpler than that. Supply and demand. There's less and less supply and the demand keeps going up. Now, as for short-term movement, we know we're going sideways, okay? Consolidating. There's no doubt we are consolidating. Despite yesterday's market drop, Bitcoin is still holding strong, not going anywhere. Bitcoin right now seems like has decoupled away from U.S. markets, right? But here's another channel, another view of things. But as we're recovering from bottom, right, we tend to hit these points before we start rallying up, before we hit the next halving event, and then start really rallying. But this next point, according to this trader, around 42,000. Some people think it's conservative, around 36,000, 40,000. Some people think it could be as high as 50 or 60,000. I've seen predictions predicting that Bitcoin will actually form a new high by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think we will be heading up to in the 40s. And after we break through this next resistance of 31.6, there's a big jump upwards. Ordinals volume is exploding, 210 million in Q2, and it's still highly debated among Bitcoin community. There are some people that do not like ordinals, do not like inscriptions within Bitcoin's chain, but Vitalik says this is good. It's revived the builder culture on Bitcoin, which is true if you think about it. Bitcoin has been stagnant for a while in terms of development, right? You have a few things like Lightning Network, and then you have like Stacks. But outside of those things, it was kind of flat, a few little upgrades. But now you have a lot of projects that are really trying to build on Bitcoin. For example, you have these new tokens. You have a stable coin. You have a whole new token standard. There's so much that's being built, whether or not they will live long term, but it is definitely getting some excitement back to Bitcoin.